Today we are exploring the biographical accounts of a Japanese racehorse named Vivlos. She was born in 2013. And we are basically tearing down the myth of the prodigy for you today.
Yeah, this isn't a story about a horse who just showed up and dominated from day one. Not at all.
No, not even close. This is really a study in how early physical collapse, forced adaptability, and just relentless, quiet consistency can systematically outshine all that early hype.
And Vivlos is, she's the perfect lens for this because her starting point was the absolute pinnacle of racing royalty.
Oh, staggering royalty.
Yeah.
Let's look at the baseline here for a second. Her sire was Deep Impact.
Arguably Japan's greatest stallion.
Right. And her dam was Hollow Sweet. Her older sister, Vilshina, was a Grade 1 winning mare. Her older brother, Cheval Grand, won the Japan Cup. Oh, and they were owned by the former professional baseball star Kazuhiro Sasaki.
Talk about a stacked deck.
Seriously. So Vivlos is raised in this pristine, high-performance environment, exact same bloodline, exact same paddocks as her superstar siblings. You look at that setup and you just assume her path is paved with gold.
But the immediate reality was a pretty stark contrast because, despite that shared DNA, she was fundamentally different from her siblings from the absolute moment she was born.
How so?
Well, trainer Yasuo Tomomichi actually highlighted this in the records. He noted that her sister, Vilshina, was famously calm and intelligent. Vivlos, on the other hand, she was described as a flashy, energetic girl.
Okay, so you have the classic sibling dynamic there. The older sister is the studious, by-the-book perfectionist, and the younger sister is just like pure bouncing electricity.
Exactly. But in the regimented, hyper-controlled world of elite horse racing, electricity isn't a strategy.
Right.
It can actually be a massive liability if the physical vessel can't handle the current.
And Vivlos' physical vessel almost completely shattered under the weight of her own potential because nature provides the genetic ceiling, but physical circumstances dictate if you can even get off the floor.
Yeah, let's break down that physical collapse because the early struggles detailed in the source are just brutal.
They really are.
She breaks her maiden, wins her second race, but almost immediately she develops epiglottic entrapment.
Okay, for those of you trying to visualize this, the epiglottis is a flap of cartilage in the throat. Yeah. It flips back and forth to protect the airway when swallowing.
Right, and in epiglottic entrapment, the tissue beneath it essentially swells and wraps over the top of the epiglottis.
So she's running at, 40 miles an hour? Her oxygen demands are astronomically high, and her airway is literally being obstructed by her own tissue.
It's awful. It creates massive airway resistance. You are essentially asking an elite athlete to sprint while breathing through a cocktail straw.
Jeez.
Yeah, it requires surgical intervention to cut that trapping tissue. But surgery on a developing young horse isn't just a physical pause. It completely derails their entire foundational conditioning.
And it didn't even stop there. Post-surgery, she developed stomach ulcers. Her condition just goes into a total tailspin.
A complete nosedive.
Yeah. So when they finally throw her into the key trial races for her generation, which were the Tulip Show and the Flower Cup, she finishes an abysmal 12th place in both.
Just a total non-factor.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She misses the entire Spring Classic season, and the source explicitly notes that by this time everyone had forgotten about her. They had to step back and let her heal.
Which fundamentally altered her developmental timeline compared to her peers. While the top fillies of her generation were out there battering each other through the Spring Classics, draining their reserves, Vivlos was resting.
Right, so she comes back in the summer, she's finally healthy, her gut is healed, and she wins an allowance race.
Just a quiet run to rebuild her physiological confidence, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah, confidence builder.
Then she steps into the Xi'an Stakes. She suffers significant interference during the run. Another horse literally bumps her, breaking her stride, but she still manages to rebalance and surges into second place, securing her ticket to the Shuka Show.
And we have to look at the macro environment of the 2016 filly generation at this exact moment. The landscape was absolute chaos.
Total fragmentation. Yeah, the heavyweights who dominated the spring were battered. Injuries had sidelined top contenders. The horses that did show up had wildly inconsistent form. The established hierarchy of the generation had essentially collapsed under the fatigue of the season.
So into this chaotic vacuum steps Vivlos, entering the Shuka Show as the third favorite. The race itself is a grueling test, but the way she wins it is a masterclass in biomechanical efficiency.
Beautiful to watch.
She doesn't dive into the messy traffic on the inside. She takes a wide, sweeping charge down the outside to just blow past the field. And here's the defining data point, and this is crazy. She won this race weighing exactly 414 kilograms,
The smallest winner in the history of the Shuka-sho.
which is tiny. But the narrative of horse racing is inherently skeptical, isn't it? A 414-kilo filly winning a domestic classic in a year where the rest of the generation is injured or fatigued. The critics are always going to call that a fluke.
Always.
They'll say she just got a lucky trip on the outside. To actually cement a legacy, you have to eliminate the variables of home field advantage.
You have to subject the horse to the ultimate test of adaptability, which is the international campaign.
So at age 4, after a tune-up in the Nakayama Kinen, they put her on a plane to the Middle East for the Dubai turf.
And we cannot overstate the physiological toll of international equine travel.
It's brutal, right?
It is. You are taking a highly sensitive prey animal, putting them in an aluminum box, flying them across time zones, completely upending their circadian rhythm, isolating them in foreign quarantine facilities, and asking them to metabolize unfamiliar feed and water.
It's a lot.
Many elite horses simply melt down. They drop weight, they refuse to eat, their nervous systems just fry.
But Vivlos thrives in the disruption. She steps onto the track at Meydan, partnering with Moreira, the magic man, and the tactical execution is flawless.
Perfect ride.
Yeah, they sit patiently at the back, track the pace, find a minuscule gap in the final stretch, and she explodes through to capture her second Grade 1 victory.
It's a complete validation of her physical resilience. The filly that couldn't handle the stress of her own stomach acid at age 3 is now metabolizing the stress of global transport and beating the best milers and middle-distance horses in the world.
And the Dubai turf essentially becomes her kingdom. Interestingly, her domestic form vanishes. When she runs back in Japan, she can't find the winner's circle. But put her on an international flight, she turns into a machine.
A total specialist.
She goes back to the Dubai turf in 2018 and finishes second. She returns again in 2019 and finishes second again, this time only beaten by Almondai, who is universally recognized as one of the most freakish talents in racing history. And right before that, she dropped down in distance to run in the Hong Kong Mile and finished second there as well.
And dropping from the 1,800 meters of the Dubai turf to the 1,600 meters of the Hong Kong Mile is a severe physiological ask.
Why is that? I mean, it's just 200 meters shorter.
Because it completely changes the required twitch muscle response and the tempo of the race. A mile in Hong Kong is a sustained, suffocating sprint from the gates. The cruising speed is significantly higher.
Oh, I see.
A horse has to process that faster tempo without panicking and burning their aerobic reserves too early. Finishing second in Hong Kong and then immediately transitioning back to the longer demands of Dubai demonstrates an unbelievable neuromuscular flexibility.
It's insane. But there's another variable here that is arguably the most staggering detail in the entire biographical source. You just talked about her international races, right? Dubai in 2017, Dubai in 2018, Hong Kong in 2018, Dubai in 2019. In every single one of those foreign campaigns, she was ridden by a different jockey.
While Vivlos managed her own biomechanics, she possessed a rare universal reliability that made her immune to the specific quirks of whoever was on her back.
Just point me at the gap, and I'll do the rest.
Exactly.
It's incredible. And this universal reliability is really what defines her ultimate legacy. Because after that 2019 run against Almondai, she retires. And you look at the final stat sheet. She wasn't undefeated. She didn't have the sheer volume of wins that usually define a Hall of Fame horse. But her total career earnings, they topped out at roughly 950 million yen.
Nearly $1 billion yen.
$1 billion. This 414-kilogram filly, who was choking on her own epiglottis and crippled by ulcers at age 3, out-earned the Derby winners of her generation.
Staggering.
She out-earned a heavily hyped superstar colt Satono Diamond. She banked a massive fortune simply by showing up and hitting the board in the most difficult, high-stakes international races on the calendar. And she eventually retired to Northern Farm to become a broodmare alongside her sister Vilshina.
Vivlos proved that long-term durability and extreme adaptability are far more potent and far more profitable than raw, fragile speed. Her greatness wasn't loud, it was resilient.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more.